I'm Claire Novak, joined today by Frank Angst on that handicapping show, and there's some great turf racing going on this weekend all across the country. We're going to zoom in on two races, the Man o' War Stakes, which is a Grade 1 at Belmont Park, and then the Virginia Derby, which is at Colonial Downs later on in the evening. Frank, the Man o' War comes up kind of interesting. You've got Point of Entry off. He's off on the sidelines recovering, but his stablemate Boisterous is going to try to step up for that Grade 1 win that he hasn't been able to accomplish so far. There's some other really good horses in here who have faced Point of Entry who haven't been able to beat him, but I know you and I both like Optimizer, who was second to him last time out. So the weather in New York calls for some thunder showers, and we might get the same type of soft course that we saw in the Manhattan where some of these horses ran. So how do you see the Man o' War shaping up?
Well, there's quite a few horses in this field that have been knocking on the Grade 1 door, so to speak, but there isn't really that established Grade 1 turf runner. So I went with the next closest thing, in my opinion, which is Optimizer, who's been second in a couple Grade 1s in his last three starts. Ran in third in the Dixie, the Grade 2 at Pimlico. And the main reason I like him here is I think he has a pace advantage. There's not a whole lot of turf speed in this race. Folk Singer might be up there early, but I don't think that's going to bother Optimizer.
Yeah.
He's just faster than that horse, so he'll get to call a shot on when he wants to take the lead. Maybe he'll go right to the lead, breaking from the rail. Either way, I think he's fine. And what really impressed me was in his previous race, when Point of Entry came at him, he dueled with that horse for quite a long ways. And I think today I don't see anybody in this field as established as Point of Entry, so I think Optimizer, I think it's his turn to get the Grade 1 for himself.
Yeah, 2 starts back, he was second to Wise Dan, the reigning horse of the year, and that was also over a yielding turf course. So the condition of the track doesn't really seem to bother him as much. If it does rain on Saturday, it won't really have that much of an effect. And I do agree with you, his speed figures are strong, and he really was impressive in the Manhattan to just give way grudgingly like he did. I mean, Point of Entry is Point of Entry, and when you run second to a horse like that as determinedly as he did, I think you're the class of the field. As far as Boisterous is concerned, I mean, he's had the chance to get the Grade 1 win, and he just hasn't quite gotten there. He was a solid winner of the Monmouth Stakes, which is a Grade 2 last time out for Shug McGaughey. So I'm sure he'll be well regarded in the wagering, but you have another horse in here that you like, the Pan American winner, Twilight Eclipse.
I think especially if it doesn't rain, if the rain holds off, because I think he likes the firm turf more. I'm not saying he's not capable of running well on an off turf, but I think he really likes the firm turf. So if he gets that, I think he becomes more of a player. Yes, Boisterous has knocked on the door so many times, I would have a hard time taking him as the favorite. And really, if I was going to take a closer here, I'd look for a longer odds horse, because I think if it comes down to that and Point of Entry gets passed, I think these other horses are so equal, I would have to have like 10-1 or so, because I don't see much difference in like an Al Khali, Finnegan's Wake. They've all knocked on the Grade 1 door, and who knows which one would, fall out into the mix in this race if it ends up being a closer. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think Optimizer's going to control this race, and I think when they come at him, he'll have an answer this time.
All right, so there's your opinions for the Man o' War, and we move right along to the Virginia Derby, and that's what some of the jockeys will be doing, as you pointed out before we started the show. Joel Rosario, Johnny Velasquez, probably a few others, likely hop a private charter or something to get down to Colonial after the races at Belmont. In the Virginia Derby, we have the top 3 from the Penn Mile coming back, and a horse that I really like, whose name is Ride-a-Luke, and I picked him last time, so yay. But I think I have my try messed up or something. So I'm going to go with the top 3 from the Penn Mile because that's the most recent good form. I know you like one of the horses that finished second, and they're a third.
Yeah, it's Jack Milton, who was third, and I like the way this horse ran at Keeneland, and this was his first race off a layoff. And granted, Ride-a-Luke is in the same boat, and I would encourage everybody to watch that race, of course, because that's going to be an important race going into this one. Is the top 3 from that race. Charming Kitten was the other one. The runner-up is also in the field. I do think there's a little bit more early speed in this race, so maybe that creates a little bit of a problem for Ride-a-Luke and sets it up for Jack Milton. I think he prefers to be off the pace. I mean, when he won at Keeneland, he was a little closer, but I think he likes to be that fourth or fifth and make a bigger move. I really like, he's had 4 works since the Penn
You
Mile.
mentioned that, yeah.
I really think Todd is pointing for this race when I see something like that. And Johnny V is coming down the ride, so
Yeah, that's
all
always
systems
good.
go for this horse. I like Jack Milton to turn the tables here and ride a Luke, which I expect is going to be a great race. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to dominate. I think we're going to see something similar to the Penn Mile with a close finish, and maybe Jack Milton gets up this time.
Yeah, this is a really good race. You've got 3 Kittens Joy runners in here, and 2 by Warfront, 2 by Shakespeare. So the outstanders are Bethel by Pulpit, and then Draw 2 by Macho Uno. So if you're not part of that Kittens Joy club with all those turf runners, Fear the Kitten is one who's going to try first time turf in here, so we don't know how that'll go. I know you're not a fan of the horse. I just pointed out because it's unusual for Kitten's Joy to go that long without trying the grass, since they are turf specialists, and so who knows, he might surprise in here, although it looks like some of these others have a little bit more experience.
Yeah, underneath I like Draw 2. I like that horse that hit the board. I think that's an improving horse that's shown a nice kick at the end of races.
Alrighty, well that's it for that handicapping show. We thank Briss for the PPs, and we wish you good luck over the weekend. Have a great weekend.